with the spotlight, Fourth Down Magazine's Fireside Chat. We do this weekly. We talk to some movers and shakers that are on the field in the Mid-Penn Conference. I'm going to moderate for you this week. I'm Andy Shay. Our guest this week wears number 2 for the Upper Dauphin Trojans, who put themselves on a very good track to nail down the 2022 Mid-Penn Conference Liberty Division title after they rallied from behind and used defense to beat the defensive team, which is Juniata, scoring 14 fourth quarter points to win by a touchdown. Please welcome running back Brady Morgan, and he's a receiver too. Running back, wide receiver, plays a little defense. You do that all at the smaller schools. It's Brady Morgan. Brady, thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Yep, thanks for having me.
Sweet sweatshirt, by the way. Keep that thing in the picture the whole time. Okay, this is how it works. We're going to have a little chat with Brady. We're going to ask him some fun questions about UDA. Then at the end, we're going to put you on the hot seat and ask you a few short questions to close out. But before I start those questions, Brady, let's give you some stats for the running back one for the Trojans this year. They have 10 players who have scored at least one rushing touchdown for the Trojans. I just want to throw that out there. 10 guys have scored a rushing touchdown through 8 games. They have 3 backs with 350 or more yards, but Brady is their leader. 71 carries, team high. 832 yards, team high. 10 touchdowns. Averages 100-plus yards per game. And this is the game changer, folks. He averages 11.7 yards per carry. That's the difference maker. He also leads the Trojans in receiving with 18 catches. He's got another touchdown through the air. He contributes when needed on defense and called on. He's got 13 tackles this season, but his impact for this team is on offense. All right, Brady, you fired up. Let's get going. My first question, I have to go back to the Columbia game, the District 3 playoffs from last year. I can't have an Upper Dauphin Trojan on the show to talk about one of the 3 craziest games you will ever see in high school football. I've been doing this for 30 years. I went back and watched it after seeing the highlights because it was that unbelievable. You played in it 58-48. You led 44-12 at halftime. You had like 400 rushing yards. They set all kinds of District 3 passing records. The legacy of that game will grow as the years go by, sir. I just want to point that out to you. What do you remember nearly a year later from one of the wildest and crazy games anybody will ever see?
I just remember from the first half, we got up by just so much. And then after halftime, they just came out and just fought back. And then it was just a shootout from there. And then, of course, before halftime, what was really the game changer, the fumble recovery and pitching it back to me and then scoring.
Yes, I wanted big man going for a touchdown. Says, nope, I'm not going any further. Here, take this. It was a touchdown you guys ended up needing. Gave you that cushion and a little bit of breathing space at the end. One of top 10 play all time I've ever seen. One of the greatest plays. All right, let's get going on this year. Hey, you guys started 1-2. You lost to, former Tri-Valley League. Moment of silence for I think was the single greatest small football league in Pennsylvania. Now defunct, no longer exists. But you lost to Williams Valley. You lost to Camp Hill. But since then, you guys have ripped off 5 in a row. You had a little bit of schedule help. We both know that. But what changed for you guys from when you were 1-2 to where you now stand at 6-2 overall? What do you think changed?
I think we finally realized that we need to come together as a team and start playing as a team, having each other's backs and stop being selfish. Because
Go ahead.
I think Williams Valley and Camp Hill were definitely beatable games. We just weren't like one team playing like a team.
Gotcha. You need to do that. Sometimes you have to go backwards to go forward, right? Sometimes that happens. All right, you guys are on the bubble. You're Class 3A this year. Somehow that just feels wrong to me, but I know there's numbers behind it and everything, but that's where you are in 2022. The power rankings have you guys number 6 in 3A. That's the last spot. You got 2 more games. Are the playoffs a factor for you guys down the stretch? Is being in the 3A playoffs important? Is it something you're talking about? I know winning the Liberty Division title is important as well. and you take it week to week. Are playoffs still an important part, even though you guys are in 3A this year, which just feels wrong. I can't say that enough.
I definitely think it's a big factor in what we're trying to do with the team.
Do you think you guys can play at the 3A level? Are you excited for that prospect? Is that like intriguing? Like, hey, there's a big difference between 2A and 3A. I'm just going to say that. And it's not like you guys can't compete, but are you guys excited about possibly putting your hat in that ring?
I think we definitely are. I mean, making it to the 2A playoffs last year was obviously a big, but being able to make it to a bigger, higher level in playoffs is definitely a bigger accomplishment.
The misdirection and motion of this offense, you guys, it just creates pure chaos for a defense. I mean, there's just no other way to put it. Can you tell, as a back, can you tell when you have a defense on tilt? And what does that look like from your perspective? I've been dying to ask you this. Do you know when you have them going sideways, and what does that look like?
Yeah, I can, like, when I go in motion, if I know I'm not getting the ball, I'm just going to fake. And once I see the defense start flowing with me, I can tell it's going to be a good play.
Do you agree that you guys create chaos for a defense that you really do make it extremely difficult to defend? Can you guys tell that across the board?
Yeah, I've had multiple people, even like some of my friends from different schools that we play against, tell us is to try to just figure out where the ball is.
I know that's the chaos, because sometimes it feels like on every play could go at least 2 and sometimes 3 different options on any given play.
Yep.
It just feels that way. All right, real quick, back to last week. 14 points in the fourth quarter, including a defensive touchdown, by the way. Ice away Juniata. Hey, it's hard to beat Juniata, right? They're a defensive-minded team. They play inside a box. What is your takeaway from a big win like that and beating a team that is really hard to beat? What do you think is a takeaway that's going to be important for you guys? It's going to help you down the stretch run as you're chasing the division title in a playoff berth. What was your biggest takeaway from the win last week that was important going forward?
I think definitely flowing towards the ball more, attacking the ball. Everybody did last week, and that definitely helped a lot to beat Juniata.
So you think defensively is where you guys will have, if you guys are playing good defensively, despite all that you do on offense, you think defensively success at winning the championship and possibly, having any success in the playoffs at the 3A level, you think that's tied a little bit to how well you guys play defense going forward? Okay. So I have 2 scenarios for you. This is just a fun question, and there is no wrong answer. I figured you're the perfect player to ask a fun question like this to. Would you rather go 10 carries for 135 yards, 3 touchdowns in the first half, and the game be in the bag and you're on a little bit on cruise control in the second half, you got the mercy rule rolling? Or would you rather come down to the wire where winning or losing could go either way, it's up in the air? Which one suits you? And keep in mind, there's no wrong answer here.
Probably the second option, just because I always love playing in dogfights like that. It's always a lot. Yeah.
That's right. There is no wrong answer. Some guys might say, I'd rather just get my stuff out and we have a guaranteed W on the board by halftime. But there's nothing wrong with wanting to be in a dogfight. I bet you it was fun last week against Juniata because they just don't make it easy. You're like, we're playing really well. And you're like, we're playing well. Can you please go away? And they don't go away. They just stay there. They're a really difficult team to play. All right, last question before I put you on the hot seat. Give me one player and one player only who is the most improved player on this squad from a year ago, in your opinion, that is helping you guys. Who is it? And in your words, why is that person your choice?
I'd probably have to say Aiden Bingaman, just because last year being a freshman, not being able to play as much as he probably wanted to.
Right.
Stepped a lot, and then is now the varsity QB.
Sophomore QB. There you go. All right. Are you ready? we are going to put you on the hot seat. Are you ready?
I am.
Favorite home cooked meal?
Tacos.
You can go any place in the world. Where are you going on your adventure?
Grease.
You're the second person this season that said Greece. Cool answer. All right. College football on Saturday or NFL football on Sunday? Which one?
Football on Saturday.
Your favorite sports team, any sport?
Notre Dame.
What is the one word that best describes you?
Outgoing.
Sweet. Lastly, what is your go-to order when you go to Sheetz? You got one?
Mozzarella sticks and deep fried Oreos.
Anything to drink?
I'll throw in a pro.
There you go. Deep fried Oreos and mozzarella sticks. The best combination of the season. All right, Brady, that'll do it. Thank you so much for your time. Good luck to you and the Trojans the rest of the season. Stay healthy as always and play well this week in a tough matchup with Big Spring. They got a 3-5 record, but they're tough out as well. All right, that was Brady Morgan, running back from the Upper Dauphin Trojans, joining us on the Fourth Down Magazine Spotlight. Make sure you check out all our high school football content on fourthdownmagazine.com. Follow along on our social media or check out our YouTube page for Adam hiding behind the Zoom curtain. I've been your moderator, Andy Shay, and I will see you